effort, and they also contribute their own time and leadership on the board of the state association and on the board of many of the schools themselves. That's also the case, I would say, in Indiana, where you have the mayor not only being supportive of charter schools, but he's actually an authorizer. They have a strong commitment to quality. They work with the National Association of Charter School Authorizers, NACSA, and so more of the civic leadership in Indianapolis, from a donor standpoint, a business, the Roundtable, the Chamber of Commerce in Indianapolis, they're all heavily involved in the charter effort, both from an advocacy standpoint and a quality standpoint. Those are two cities. I mean, I could go on. I know where I live in the Denver area, the Colorado League of Charter Schools, which is a state association for the entire state public charter school movement, they were so involved in the chartering effort that they actually raised money for the new authorizer once the legislature approved the ability for there to be an alternative authorizer other than the school districts. So the Colorado League raised money for it, for the local donor community. They helped align that effort with NACSA so that best practice could be developed right at the start. And they've actually helped develop the committee that would be on the board of the new authorizer. And so it worked well that the entire community around the Denver metro area got behind that particular effort. Is that good?
Great. Dr. Steve, maybe you could talk a little bit about what types of community involvement there are, or crossover activities there are with the schools that you authorize in New York.
I agree with what Kathy just shared with you in terms of the types of individuals, the diversity of individuals we look for on the proposed boards of schools coming to SUNY. I think as she was speaking, I was thinking about the fact we have evolved to the point now where we have boards that are the board of multiple schools, which is a new development in New York, and where we have to actually drill down during the application phase of saying to them, how will you ensure that you can turn your attentions independently to each of those schools. So I think depending on the location of the school, upstate New York is a very different terrain than the city, and we just call it the city. You know which one we're talking about. So the city. So upstate, I think the pool of people who are available and desire to be on a board of a charter school are very different. In the city, you have a megapolis, if you want to call it that, with people from all walks of life and various backgrounds in terms of experience and expertise. You've got investment bankers, you've got all of these people to draw from. So when they do decide they want to be on a board, as well as the philanthropic community in New York City, when they want to be on a board, they're really ready to be on a board, and they bring all of that to bear. And typically, they've had experiences on other boards, not-for-profit boards, which obviously is very helpful. Upstate, you have people, as Doug mentioned, well-intentioned people, interested people, but they don't bring necessarily the same range of background skills. And hence, board training is even more important. We don't require the board training. We lay it out as something in the benchmarks as something they probably want to do. We encourage them to do it. We don't provide it ourselves. We have a statewide association for charter schools, probably more active upstate than down, but in the city they actually have the Charter School Center for Charter School Excellence that does an incredible amount of technical assistance for the charter schools in the city. But community involvement tends to come from all of those different pools. I was just trying to think of other community involvement sources as I'm kind of talking here. I think one of the other areas where community involvement comes in the city, there is also community involvement around facility issues. Our schools are not able to access the facility funds through the state. And now that the charter law has been around for a while and there are lots of schools in the city, there are certain organizations that are now available to help them with accessing facility funding, helping them locate facilities, renovate facilities, all of that, and that's been really helpful too. So there is that crossover as well.
Great, thank you. And Sherry, I was going to ask you the same question, but I think I want to change it up just a little. You've had pretty extensive experience in two different types of public schools. What's something that you can do at your charter school that